In this video, we'll look at Emilia Clarke's experience on Game of Thrones, specifically her relationship with co-star Jason Momoa and the nudity in her role as Daenerys Targaryen. Clarke recently admitted that she would cry before sex scenes with Momoa and didn't know she would be nude for the role. So if you're a fan of Game of Thrones and want to know more about Clarke's experience on the show, stick around and watch the video until the end. First up, Emilia Clarke in her iconic role as Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones. In the HBO series Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke portrayed Daenerys Targaryen. The series' central character Daenerys, also called Khaleesi and Mother of Dragons, was well received for how Clarke portrayed her. Beginning the series, Daenerys is a young, oppressed woman who was forced into marriage by her brother to a Dothraki warlord. She develops into a strong and self-assured leader throughout the television series, ultimately ascending to the title of Mother of Dragons and taking control of the Dothraki people. The way that Clarke portrayed this metamorphosis was believable, and she was able to convey the various facets of Daenerys' personality, from her vulnerability to her strength and resolve. Daenerys faces numerous difficulties during the series, including the death of loved ones, betrayal, and political conflicts. Clarke captured the emotional complexity of her character and piqued viewers' interest in her journey. She received numerous Emmy nods for Best Supporting Actress in a drama series for her portrayal of Daenerys. The chemistry between Clarke and the other actors was one of the best aspects of her portrayal of Daenerys. Fans particularly loved her friendship with Tyrion Lannister, played by Peter Dinklage, and look forward to their scenes together. The program's popularity was largely attributed to Emilia Clarke's portrayal of Daenerys Targaryen, who became one of the series' most recognizable and well-liked characters. She was able to bring to life a strong and vulnerable character, making her a role model for many women. Her performance was riveting and convincing. Next up, Daenerys Targaryen dragons. Dragons play a significant role in Daenerys Targaryen's character in the HBO series Game of Thrones. Her status as the Mother of Dragons is strongly associated with the dragons, who represent her might and authority. In the television series, Daenerys raises dragon Rhaegal and Viserion from eggs she received as a wedding present from Khal Drogo. The dragons are originally small and frail, but with Daenerys' care, they grow quickly and develop into ferocious, strong animals. The dragons are devoted allies and guardians, and are essential to her quest for the Iron Throne. The show's fantasy element also includes dragons, and their design and animation received high praise. The dragons were made utilizing a blend of CGI and practical effects, and the result was incredibly convincing and realistic. The show's creators also worked very hard to make the behavior and movements of the dragons as realistic as possible, which increased the realism of their situations. The dragons were crucial to Daenerys' military operations in the later seasons, and their fire-breathing prowess made them fearsome combatants. But as Daenerys' character development and the plot advance, her dragons also represent her arrogance and descent into madness, ultimately resulting in both their and her own demise. Overall, Daenerys Targaryen's dragons are a crucial part of her persona and the entire narrative. They represent her might and authority, and their presence heightens the fantasy component of the program. The dragon's demeanor and motions were also expertly designed and added to the realism of the sequences and received high accolades for their design and animation. Next, we have Daenerys Targaryen's husband, Khal Drogo. In the HBO series Game of Thrones, Khal Drogo is Daenerys Targaryen's spouse. His marriage to Daenerys is arranged by her brother Viserys to win the Dothraki's military assistance. He is the head of a nomadic people known as the Dothraki. Daenerys initially feels threatened by Drogo because of his reputation for brutality and violence, but as time passes, she learns to appreciate him and even grows to love him. In response, Drogo grows quite fond of Daenerys and begins to modify his behavior to win her favor. Drogo develops into a more sympathetic leader and begins valuing Daenerys' judgment and choices. As a result, the relationship is strong and vibrant. Drogo's persona also contrasts Daenerys' development into a great leader from a vulnerable and oppressed young woman. Drogo's journey is one of growth and change, as he begins to understand what it means to love and care for someone, which ultimately proves his downfall. However, Drogo's story has a devastating ending after he suffers a mortal injury, and Daenerys is compelled to execute him with kindness. Drogo's passing significantly affects Daenerys and marks a turning point in her character's development by making her more ruthless and focused on securing the Iron Throne. In Daenerys Targaryen's journey, Khal Drogo played a significant role as both a love interest and a contrast to her own change. Their bond was strong and vibrant, and Drogo's passing greatly influenced Daenerys' character growth. Next is the nerve-wracking audition process for the role. Emilia Clarke only had a strong reputation in the acting community once she was cast as Daenerys Targaryen in the television series Game of Thrones, which airs on HBO. When she tried out for the role, this made the experience for her even more stressful and nerve-wracking. Throughout an interview with The Express, Clarke said that during the audition process, she was extremely anxious, to the point that she had to resort to doing a horrible imitation of the robot and offered to make tea to try and alleviate the tension. Ultimately, she was successful in doing so. Now for the challenges she faced when filming her role as Daenerys Targaryen. For Emilia Clarke, some of the most challenging aspects of filming Game of Thrones, including eating a horse heart and performing nude sequences. She struggled at first to accept the famous part, but she persisted and was able to give outstanding performances in every episode. Understandably, Clarke felt quite exposed when she was asked to fall off a horse in front of the team on the first day of filming. This grueling scene was just the first of many she had to go through while filming Game of Thrones. In Season 1, chewing a horse's heart was one of Clarke's most challenging moments to film. She was disgusted by the prop heart, even though it was formed of jam that had become solid. She said that it tasted like uncooked pasta and bleach. Clarke acknowledged that it was tricky as she thought back on all the difficult sequences she had to do on the show. She even had to take a break once to have a cup of tea and cry. Despite the difficult sequences of Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke persevered and consistently gave outstanding performances. Her perseverance and ability to get through challenging parts set her apart as an actor. Next, Emilia's thoughts on gender equality and nudity on screen. Emilia Clarke has consistently spoken out in favor of gender equality, which includes the portrayal of nudity on television and film. In an interview with The Express, she was questioned about her opinions on the subject and responded, "It ought to be equitable everywhere in my opinion. I believe that men should also be expected to remove their clothing." Emilia isn't the only one who feels strongly about this, as is evident. As the debate about gender equality in Hollywood intensifies, more and more individuals realize how critical it is to present nudity fairly. It ultimately comes down to building a world in which everyone feels empowered by their own decisions rather than judged by them. We should all be grateful to Emilia for her contributions to the cause she's been fighting for. It is encouraging to see her stand up for what she holds dear and to continue advancing the discussion of gender equality. Emilia Clarke's experience with Game of Thrones has undoubtedly been challenging, but her perseverance and commitment have paid off handsomely. She has established herself as a leading example of female representation, both on and off the screen, and she has inspired countless people. We can only hope that as she continues to advocate for gender equality in the industry, her efforts will eventually help to remove the restrictions that are still in place in Hollywood today, as Emilia Clarke's tale is no exception to the rule that it's motivating to witness someone stand up for what they believe in. We can only hope that her campaign for gender equality motivates other individuals to continue the fight for a better future for all. In the end, it is possible. Anything is possible, as Emilia demonstrated throughout the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. Finally, a reflection on how far she has come since the first day of filming. Emilia Clarke has transformed in just 9 years, from a young, unknown actress to a highly praised star well-known worldwide. She was tasked with portraying Daenerys Targaryen, one of the most recognizable figures in contemporary media, in HBO's Game of Thrones. She has established herself as one of the greatest actors of all time, beginning with her first day on set when she fell off a horse and broke down in tears. It has been an amazing journey for Emilia Clarke. She had to participate in some unpleasant nude scenarios, and some really difficult ones, like eating a horse heart made of hardened jam that tasted like bleach and raw macaroni. She persevered in the face of obstacles and challenging times to develop one of the television's most recognizable characters. Daenerys Targaryen was a strong representation of female strength and resiliency in our modern world, where women are frequently presented as supporting players or as mere objects of sensual pleasure. The transformation of Emilia Clarke's character from the shy young actress on the first day of filming to the fierce queen who overthrew Westeros is evidence of both the actress's prowess and the demand for strong female figures in popular culture. Emilia Clarke has unquestionably advanced since her first day of Game of Thrones filming. On and off the screen, she has developed into a true warrior, and her narrative motivates all women who want to achieve greatness. She has demonstrated that everything is achievable if you put your mind to it, via her perseverance and hard work. Let's hope Emilia Clarke continues to play important roles for a long time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And don't forget to leave a comment below letting us know what you think. We love hearing from you.